Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is deancothill and incredible to host you today. We're going to dive straight into presets. I've been very fortunate to have traveled to some extremely hot places. Kenya, lots of Africa, and some extremely cold places. If you've been following me for a while, you would have seen that I've got warm presets and I've got some cold presets. In part 1, I spoke about warm presets, and you can hit the link below to check those out. And today I'm going to be talking about my cold presets. These are 6 presets that are almost my go-to. It has a look at mainly blues, how to turn greens into browns and golds, and even some soft purples in the highlights. And so I really hope that you find today's video helpful. If you do, please hit like and please hit the subscribe button, but let's dive straight into it. And so as you can see, I'm straight into Lightroom Classic here. And what I've done is I've pre-selected 12 images here, and we're going to kind of skim through all of them as we go. But in each of these images, I really believe there's something that I'd like us to kind of take out of it in terms of what we would like to focus on, in terms of what the presets do to the colors that we're trying to highlight, and what the presets do over here in our tone curve, which we're going to get into a little bit later, and then we're going to just have a look at what it does to the colors. So let's dive straight into it. Really a popular image at the moment, top-down drone shot down at the beach, and it looks a little bit something like that. What I'm going to do is copy the presets there just so that I've got a quick go-to, but here you can see I'm using preset number 4. So I'm going to reset, and that's the original image. So you can see it's quite beautiful, some light on the waves here. And what I've done is I've gone straight to preset number 4. And it does that to the images. So you can have a look and see already that the blues have changed. And if you come down here to your color, you'll have a look that the hues have changed almost instantly there. And have a look at the luminance, that the blue is all the way down. And if you have a look at what happens to the color here as I pull it, you can see how those whites come out. So in this particular preset, we're having a look at doing something like that, where you get those beautiful teals that almost blend beautifully there with the blues and the aquas and some of the greens in those images there. We're going to have a look and jump over to the next image here, where I've used preset number 6. And so I'm going to reset once again, and this is the original image. And you can see that it's really quite beautiful. There's a surf ski. The light is really nice and golden. The OCD is getting the better of me, and I'm going to straighten this horizon immediately. And I'm going to have a look at this horizon, have a look at the colors. It really is naturally quite beautiful. So I don't want to do much to this image. But once again, what I'm going to have a look at is what happens to the colors, specifically our yellows and our oranges. And I'm going to hit preset number 6, and it's going to do something like that. So you'll have a look at that instantly. My MacBook is panicking on me right here, that the darker colors have started to come through here. And if you have a look at the hues that are being played with, you can see the reds, the oranges, as well as the yellows having been adjusted here. So this is my cold preset number 6. And again, if we have a look at comparing the two images, you'll have a look and see how the golds and the browns almost come through here, replacing some of the imagery in here, where you're almost playing with blues more than anything here. And you come across this side, you're actually playing with golds and browns and peachy tones, rather than the deep grays that exist over on this side. And so that is cold number 6. We're then going to have a look at another image here, which was taken in Cape Town. And again, you can have a look at the befores and the afters. Really not a major change here. But what it does is it makes the oranges, the peaches at the bottom here, as well as those really nice pinky purples come out the top over here. And I've used cold number 1. So you can really focus on the differences here in terms of the colors, and you can have a look at how they come through there in the clouds. Is really quite nice. And then also, if you have a look, we pull back a little bit and you have a look at some of these oranges that exist here on the other side in the lower clouds. You can kind of have a see. So you'll have a look over there at those colors that exist in that very, very small section of the cloud. And then you can see at how we've started to adjust them here in the hues. And also in the saturations are all the way down just about on the reds, yellows and the oranges similarly. So a little bit of a life hack when it comes to Lightroom and editing your images. Stay away from saturation as much as you can. And you'll even have a look here and see on the side, you really want to stay away from saturation. Even in the overall presence of the image, it's down on -15, but you can really play with the vibrance a little bit and get all the way up to 35 there even. So a little pro tip there, stay away from saturation and play more with vibrance if you would like to. One of my all-time favorite images, I'm going to jump straight through to number 9 here at the bottom. And I've used the cold preset number 4. So I'm going to have a look at what it does to those warm tones in the middle. I'm going to have a look at what it does to the shadow, the highlights in the background here go almost bluey gray instead of that kind of darker gray. But the tones that really come through quite beautifully here are the warm tones with that as the backdrop. So focus nicely on the hand. I stand corrected here. I used the 85 1.2 to take the shot, and so that's why the focus is so sharp here. And you can see the colors come out beautifully here when you have a look at what's going on there with that sparkler. And so really, really quite beautiful tones. And I'm going to have a look at 2 more images here. This is another sparkler shot that I took out in Cape Town with my friend, I think Jar Crawford. Is holding this sparkler for me. In the background you can see a lion's head, the mountain, and so really one of my all-time favorite moments. I remember we were planning for our trip to Iceland as this was happening, and we were getting our visas sorted and all that stuff, and we did 1 or 2 little missions and got this taken. You can see this preset has really changed the yellows, and almost gross yellows. I don't really like these kinds of yellows, and turn them into those more golden browns, those peachy sunset oranges really come through nicely here. And then once again, taken those blues and turned them into pinky purples. And so really nice here. The cold number 6 does some beautiful things here in the purples and the magentas. You can see how we're playing there with those up to their +20, and again +20, +15 on the luminance. The last image that I'd like to look at and take a minute going over is of a dear friend of mine who just would have celebrated his birthday a week ago. River sadly having passed away, but I'll never forget these kinds of missions with River. Lolema out in Pretoria was with us on this little exercise, and doing crazy things like this, getting out into the ocean, holding these smoke bombs, and a really special moment. So if I have a look at this image, I would probably crop it like that, and have a look at that kind of crop, and you can see very quickly the differences in the colors that cold 6 gives us. And so really already the teals and the blues coming through there beautifully, even there on the reflections coming through nicely. And again, not that I don't like the yellows and the oranges in the smoke bomb here, but you can see how removing some of the shadows in the purple and removing some of the hues in the oranges there really comes through nicely. And so the luminance with the red and the oranges, and then on the hue +20 and -5 here as we focus on the smoke there. And just for fun and games, as I'm editing this, I'm probably having a look at this, and I would probably want to add a mask to this and highlight his arm, and to bring out the tattoos that you can see here, which are really quite nice. But because of what the preset does, even on some of the blacks here is all the way down, -83. So you can kind of bring it back a little bit and you'll probably see them a little bit better. You can see there on the -46 already different, but we probably like it up here. And then what I would do is probably just add a mask overlay onto that and add some highlights and add some exposure to that to make it look a little bit better. I hope that you found this a little bit helpful. In the next video, what I'm going to do is cover my 3 just can't live without go-tos in Lightroom and how I use editing in Lightroom every single day. 3 buttons that I just can't live without. I hope that you found this helpful. Please hit the like button if you found it helpful, and then if you'd like to come along for the ride, please hit subscribe.